What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and today we're going to be talking about Call of Duty 2020, Treyarch's next game that, at least in my opinion, is more than likely going to be delayed. Now, we actually have two really big pieces of information to go over in regards to a delay, and one of those pieces is actually when the game could be delayed too. So definitely stay tuned throughout the entire video. You definitely don't want to miss out. And also, as a reminder, I do offer memberships here on my channel. I actually have 3 membership options. The highest option, of course, grants you access to free merch, exclusive intel, and an early look at some of my upcoming videos for the next few weeks. YouTube is crashing really hard financially right now due to the beer virus, so becoming a member would definitely help me out. And once again, more information about these membership options is down below when you hit the join button. But first and foremost, we have a tweet from the man himself, Keith, who actually works for Activision and has teased so many things before in the past, and his tweet does say the following: delays are okay, and they will not hurt in the long run. It's just temporary. This brings opportunities for others to shine. So you can make all types of assumptions as to what the delay could be for, but what's a delay that, in my opinion, is inevitable at this point? It's Call of Duty 2020. And the thing with Treyarch's next game is that it's almost a game that was doomed from the start, and it's a game that needed a delay all the way from the beginning when we heard that Treyarch was stepping up to take control of the project, right? They're not getting 3 full years to make a game that we would hope is much better than both Black Ops 3 and 4, but they're stepping into a project with only 2 years to finish it, which Sledgehammer and Raven actually started. But the only reason I have hope for COD 2020 is not just because it's from Treyarch and they do a great job with everything, but it's the fact that they're coming into a project centered around Vietnam, and they can easily apply things that they probably already had planned to adapt in the future for a Black Ops game or reboot centered all around Vietnam. Then you of course have the Vietnam zombies situation, which I covered, I think it was a couple weeks ago. I'll have that video linked down below, where in Black Ops 1, instead of Shangri-La, they were actually planning a Vietnam zombies experience. Take some of those concepts that were unused and flesh them out fully in a Black Ops reboot, and I think it would work out just fine. So I do have hope for it, but the big thing that I really wanted to go over in regards to a delay is something from the man himself, the Gaming Revolution. And before I jump into that, as a quick reminder, his Twitter did get deleted, along with our Twitter we have together, Marvel Hub, for absolutely no reason. Not sure why that happened, but he doesn't currently have a new Twitter account. There are a couple of fakes out there, being on the lookout for them, so I will let you guys know if he does make a new Twitter account. I'll include an update in a video, and I'll put out a tweet over on my Twitter, but as of right now, ignore the fakes. But he actually let me know that what he just heard from one of his sources is that Infinity Ward was recently briefed on making another season for Modern Warfare because of a big delay coming up. So this lines up with Keith's tweet pretty perfectly. So when I say another season, I don't mean another year of content, unless I misinterpreted it, but he did say that another season of content will be needed for Modern Warfare to accommodate for a delay, which leaves the release date for COD 2020 at around, I want to say, December-ish. And how convenient is that, releasing the next Call of Duty during holiday 2020 along with the release of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X? So if that's the case, could we see a bundle for Call of Duty 2020 along with one of the next generation consoles, right? And I feel like that's pretty convenient, but my real question is the game made faithfully for next generation hardware, or is it made for current generation hardware and will be ported to the next generation of consoles? A big question to ask. I'm just gonna assume it's probably gonna get ported, because of course with Call of Duty Ghosts back in 2013, the game was made for last generation hardware and then ported up to PS4, Xbox One. So I'm curious if the same thing is happening this time around. We'll just have to wait and see. I believe Advanced Warfare was the first Call of Duty that was truly made on current gen hardware and then ported backwards to last gen hardware. We'll just have to wait and see. But again, leave all your thoughts on this down below in the comments. When it comes to another season of Modern Warfare content, I don't think it's that bad. Each season lasts about, what, 2.5 months or so? So I think a delay would be, I think, very, very reasonable, especially considering this beer virus happening, causing devs to work from home, QA testers to work from home. Sure, work is still getting done, but not nearly as much that could be done when everybody's at the studio being as efficient as possible. So that's why I said earlier, the game was almost doomed from the start. We already thought it needed a delay from the start. We thought that they should get another year to make it because it was only on a 2-year dev cycle. And now with all this lists going around the world, it definitely needs a delay. Now we also have a small update in Black Ops 4 through April 13th, double XP in multiplayer and zombies, double merits in Blackout, and double weapon XP all across the board, along with a one in the chamber double XP playlist that should be starting this Tuesday. So if you're not a fan of window warfare, you can still enjoy some nice action in Black Ops 4 while we wait for Treyarch's next installment. Now, as much as I don't want another season of Modern Warfare, I do think one extra little season won't hurt, just to ensure that Treyarch's next game is as good as it could possibly be. But the sad reality is that no matter how good the game releases, we'll still probably analyze it and realize that, oh, this could have been better, or that could have been more polished, or that probably could have had more detail. And that's the thing with games that are rushed, is that no matter how good they finally release, there is always room for improvement, and the only way they could have improved is if they had more time. So I'm hoping that it releases at least in a state where whatever is in the game is complete, and whatever promises they make release in a timely manner too. You know, I don't want them to make too many promises right at release and they'll be like, oh yeah, the game's releasing in this state, but then we have X, Y, and Z that are still coming very soon, you know, just wait, and then we have to wait like 7 months to see any of those things because of all these other issues that arise. So hopefully the game is handled a lot better under new leadership compared to Black Ops 4, and I really think it will be. I think there's been a shuffle in management over at Treyarch that hopefully will ensure a better Black Ops 5 or whatever the game is called. Now, also in regards to the PlayStation 5, it's kind of funny how we're mentioning all these release dates now. The PlayStation 5 controller, the DualSense, also was revealed the other day, and I haven't really been able to talk about it, but in terms of the look of the controller, it looks a lot better in black. I'm not a fan of how it looks in white. It just doesn't seem like that mixed match of colors really works, but I love the black design of it, and in terms of the functionality of the remote, it is a big step up from the DualShock 4, and I think, in all honesty, they didn't have to even change the DualShock 4 all that much, because in my opinion, it is kind of a perfect remote, but I think for the sake of changing things to make it stand out and look different, they had to somehow change the DualShock 5, or however you want to call it. But in terms of what platform I'll be picking, I said this before too, I'm always going to be on PlayStation because that's where all my friends are at. However, because a lot of games now are going into this cross-platform state where you can pretty much play with anybody on any platform, it almost doesn't matter what console you buy anymore. So if you have a preference for a certain console because of that console's exclusives or other features, then go for it, because most of the time if you want to play Fortnite, Call of Duty, Apex, you have that crossplay feature, which is really cool. But one whisper I heard recently too is that with the possibility of delaying Treyarch's next game, maybe we'll see one last Zombies update in Black Ops 4. Maybe not for Blackout, maybe not for multiplayer, because we obviously have Modern Warfare and Warzone that could take that place. But when it comes to zombies, not seeing zombies for well over maybe a year and a half could be a problem. So I think Activision might want to see how the community would react to another Zombies DLC in the Call of Duty community. And I also have heard some whispers too that maybe some YouTubers are hearing things, right? Some other YouTubers with different inside knowledge, that maybe they're hearing things about Black Ops 4 getting one last update, which is where all this talk about Zombies Chronicles 2 came back from. But once again, in terms of my perspective and the inside knowledge I have, the maps are still on hold, finished of course, but could easily be saved for COD 2020. But if that game gets delayed, maybe Activision's like, maybe instead of saving the maps for the next game, let's just drop them in Black Ops 4 and see how it sells. But to end off this video, as another reminder to what's a good thing to release while we wait for Treyarch's next game? Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered. As much as I would really want to see one last Black Ops 4 update, either to Blackout or Zombies, I do think Zombies is probably the only thing they'll maybe update, you know, since we'll be waiting over a year for a new Zombies experience. That could be likely, but in all honesty, the most likely thing to happen is faithfully remastering Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. And as I've gone over in my previous update videos, there are two things currently on the table based on insider knowledge. The first thing is releasing the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer maps into the new Modern Warfare in the form of reimaginings with safe spaces and doors. But my flaw with that is, when can that happen? Will we have to wait till Season 4 to see that? Because Season 3 doesn't seem to be including anything for Modern Warfare 2, since it's focusing on a lot of other things at the moment, right? Bringing out a Modern Warfare 1 map, Modern Warfare 3 map, some new maps here and there. Modern Warfare 2 just doesn't fit with Season 3. So, if that's the case, right, and they don't end up releasing the maps into the new game, the second option that's on the table, which to me is the most likely option, is releasing Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer inside of the new Modern Warfare. So locking that experience behind the paywall of some sort. So you have to buy the new Modern Warfare 2019 reboot, and then maybe at the main menu next to Warzone, you'll see MW2 multiplayer. Now, the only issue with that is, will it be free for people that already own the new Modern Warfare? Will it be an extra cost or an extra paywall? I can totally see them trying to boost the sales of the current Modern Warfare reboot by doing that, but who knows how that'll be handled. Now, according to other insider knowledge from the Gaming Revolution himself, Activision has found a way to make that work, which means that it is once again the most likely scenario, right? And in terms of when that can happen, could be a few months, but I've expressed my honesty before on stream. If they end up delaying Treyarch's next game, I'm totally cool with playing Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer for a couple of months. But in terms of content for a YouTuber, you know, that'll just be asking for probably more streams than usual, since there won't be too many videos to make. But you could of course still cover Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer quite a bit, since there are a lot of new people that didn't play the original that could use some insight from some YouTube videos, right? But if that's the case too, I would hope for a release of that multiplayer and hopefully another Zombies update for Black Ops 4 to keep us waiting. But as I've also said too many times before too, once COD 2020 gets revealed and that Treyarch hype train really begins again, Black Ops 4 will 100% get an update of some sort featuring weapons, maybe some maps, or some teasers for their next game. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer, a delay for COD 2020, and whether or not you want to see one last update for Black Ops 4. But really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everyone.